Shalom, beloved. It's your girl Sophia, Spiritual Light, and I had a dream slash vision slash lesson that I wanted to share. I when I woke up this morning, this is my second time waking up and my third time recording this video. So forgive me if it sounds a little rushed, but this is my third time trying to make this video. So when I woke up this morning, or while I was asleep, it's sort of a dream state, I had a thought come into my head. Well, it was more like Sister Pat's voice. It's kind of like just talking about how the Most High used Job to distract Satan while he was over doing something else. And the thought came to my mind, what if my suffering for the last 10 months, basically, exactly, was a distraction? And from that point, that thought, I saw it was like rewinding a tape, every time something bad would happen, and I was just like, be confused and have, worries and whatnot. It was kind of like showing me a split screen for when I was suffering, that, what the angel that was assigned to me, or the archangel, was doing, that I ended up suffering. And so basically, to make a long story short, I went, the first two times I went in a little bit more in depth with this, but to make a long story short, for the last 10 months, it has been basically torture. Now, mind you, I didn't start really getting into the walk until after New Year's. So that would have been April, when I just started listening to Big Levi in April. But this starts all the way back from Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, which is the same day as my daughter's birthday in January. And on her actual birthday, I couldn't get out of bed. I never get sick, but I was so sick, I could not get out of bed. I mean, I could not eat. I couldn't do anything. And I was just laying in the bed for 2 whole days. And I couldn't do anything. I didn't do anything for my daughter's birthday with her. I couldn't, I just couldn't get out of bed. I was so sick. And from there, it's been basically, as far as the world is concerned, worldly things, it's been completely downhill. Because at that point I was working at a warehouse, and I left that warehouse because I got a job working at the Amazon warehouse, which I thought would be better, which was infinitely worse. And then I left from that warehouse and I couldn't get another job. And basically, I haven't been able to get employment of any kind since then. And it's just, all this stuff has been happening every day. It's just been like a day of torture until I woke up on Saturday morning, and I felt like that torture, that pain had been lifted. And the point of it lifting was the Testament of Solomon. I woke up, like I said, the last week I've been waking up every day, every night in the 1 a.m. hour and praying. And, I didn't know what was going on, but I was going to sleep at like 7 o'clock, waking up at 1 a.m. to pray, and, just praying for the nation and reading Psalms, saying Psalms 23, like 7, 8, 9. I usually do stuff in 9, so 9 times in a row, and, all kinds of stuff. Every day this week I've done that, woken up 1 a.m., said something, prayed something, and then eventually went back to sleep, burned some incense, and went back to sleep. And so on Saturday morning, I woke up at 1:40 a.m. Or 1 o'clock a.m. Right around 1 o'clock, I took a spiritual shower and my salt rinse, and then I read the entire book of the Testament of Solomon. It's not a long book, but I read the whole thing. And at that point, I found out about that there's a number sequence that you can use, 644, that they say is the number of Christ. But in Hebrew, it doesn't sound like Emmanuel, it's Emem Dalat. And so, because it's final mem, that's 600, mem, that's 40, and Dalat, that's 4. So it's Emem Dalat. And I don't know if anyone's ever heard that before. I'd be really grateful to know if it's whatever, but that's what they said. That if you say that, if they see that sequence of numbers, if you say that number, if you anything with that number 644, the king of hell and all his minions flee. And immediately, I started saying it in my head. I got up and wrote it down. I translated into the Hebrew, and I put it on, a piece of paper. I consecrated it. I started carrying this thing with me everywhere. And all of a sudden, this spirit or whatever it was feels like it's been lifted from me. And I feel lighter. I feel better. I feel restored, essentially. But I've been going through this for 10 whole months. And then that was on Saturday morning, like the 1 o'clock hour, 2 o'clock hour. So then I get a text message from Big Levi saying, okay, the sister had the baby. Can you pull the chart? And I said, okay, let me go ahead and pull this child's chart. I was trying to get ready to leave to come down up the road or whatever, but I was like, the nation comes first. Let me just go ahead and knock this out. So I pull the chart, and I see the guardian angel's name. I see what the angel does and all of that. And I noticed the time of birth, 140. Well, I knew at that time I was up praying, but it didn't mean anything to me until we had the prayer on Saturday. And Levi was describing what this woman went through in order to be able to birth this child, a sister. And I just gave all praises to the Most High because, I was the distraction. The Most High told the infernal spirits, hey, go over here, mess with that one. Here's what you can't do. You can't mess with her kids, you can't mess with her housing, and you also cannot kill her. But go over there and mess with that one. And I'm just going to pull back some of these angels. Let's see how she does without them. And they promptly come over and started torturing me. And every night for the last 10 months, it's felt like a death for me, because it was just so much every day. It's like, this is terrible. And this is before I got into the truth. And then when I got into the truth and I found out about the boiling pot, and I did that, and you guys heard the story about how the car was stolen out of my driveway, but not my car, another car. And that was enough. That was proof to me. I remember saying, this is proof to me that whatever it is, this is real, because I saw that my car and another car was in the driveway, and one car got stolen that looks like a car I used to have, and my car is still here. So I know for a fact that this is real. So I'm going to go ahead and research this and get on it. And then I did a 40-day fast, took out a bunch of those suckers, and then right before my 40-day fast was over, I started doing the videos with the daily prayers, taking out these suckers every day, cutting them off. And then after that, I said, I'm going to do another 40-day fast. And then just so happened to be that Levi called a 40-day fast, and all that stuff happened. So we're taking out more of these suckers. Then I said, okay, we've got to do another fast. Did a 22-day fast, called a few of the sisters together. We did a 22-day fast. Didn't know what this stuff was for. Had no idea. And the whole time, we were knowingly and unknowingly providing the distraction so that this child could be born. We were, maybe other people were suffering, but me in particular, my guardian angel, my guardian archangel, which is for my day Kokav, Raphael, aka Uriel, aka Enoch. If you look at the Testament of Solomon, you have to write the name of Raphael on the woman's stomach, and Raphael will come and protect that child. So the executive decision was made to redirect Raphael for me to protect that child. And I just give all praise and glory and honor to the Most High that he would find me and my poor, insignificant life worthy enough to dangle out in front of these infernal spirits in order that this child would be born. Because precious, Psalms 116 says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. And I died every day. Every day. I went into the sleep realm, the spiritual realm, and they tortured. I died every day. They tortured me. And I didn't know why. I didn't think that I deserved it, but I never questioned, why the Most High had to do this to me. I only requested that my children not be touched. I don't want to be living in the streets, and because I don't want this trauma to go on to my kids. I didn't want them to have to deal with this stuff. But every day, and starting before I came into the walk. And so, just thinking about what Sister Pat said about Job being a top ranking of person to Pharaoh, it wasn't no low level person that, the Most High dangled out in front of these infernal spirits. And now, having read the Testament of Solomon, I know what spirits specifically were sent to me. And I understand that it was sent to me as to not be anywhere near this child. And all praises to the Most High, it worked. And so, despite all the suffering that I personally had to endure, which was very, very great, very great, I wouldn't trade any of it for this precious life to have been brought in. And while I'm being shown and taught these things, I felt like it was important to share this information, because every bit of torture we receive or bad luck or things going wrong is not always us. That we're not always the reason why certain things are happening to us, especially I would say for us in the nation, because other people have also received this treatment because the Most High thought they were strong enough to handle it. And we know several people who, when the Most High tried them, when the Most High unleashed the infernal spirits on them, they didn't pass. They were not able to endure to the end, so that, whatever distraction they were doing came to fruition. Now, mind you, again, I was nowhere near the truth when this stuff started happening to me. I ended up in the truth as a result of it, but I was nowhere near this. Like I said, I was going to an Orthodox church. I had already had my terrible experience with the regular church, and I was going to an Orthodox church, And I liked anthroposophy, the study of the mother, but I felt like it was one-sided. So I was putting the anthroposophy and the orthodoxy together. At least I was getting the mother and the father, but it wasn't really the mother and the father. It was really the mother and the son. It was still not really no emphasis on the father. And I felt that was unbalanced. And so that's how I ended up in the truth, because then it was balanced. It was, equal parts the mother, father, and Yahushua, which is the balance. And so I say that to say there's quite a few people who weren't able to endure until the end of their trial. They didn't make it through this initiation process, and I just cry and weep for the children or the people who were lost as a result of others being unable to endure until the end of their suffering, until having the weight lifted off of them. And so it wasn't the fact that I wasn't doing enough baths. It wasn't the fact that I wasn't fasting enough. It wasn't the fact that I was not doing something I wasn't supposed to do or anything like that. It was just that energy had to be, that angel, that spirit intelligence had to be reassigned to that child. That's how important that child was. And I understand that. And there's a lot of, I guess, more personal details that I definitely understand why certain things were happening the way that they were, and what it meant for me and what it means now, and especially knowing what these particular demons do, what I was distracting from. And there's other people I know who also were made to suffer, and they, I would say they also basically failed, and, the Most High is merciful. Hopefully he'll give them another chance. But, it is what it is. It's not the easiest thing in the world to say that you're a child of God, even, Jew or Gentile alike, Christian or otherwise. And so there's people, especially our people, who say that they love God, but when the trial comes, they don't endure until the end. They don't endure until that weight is lifted. And, mine was literally a full 10 months, a full exact 10 months. And if I ever talk with the sister, I'll bet the times when it was easier for her was probably very, very difficult for me. And there are a few, like I said, more personal points where I think that, even down to, I'm sure you all remember, I always complain, oh man, he's got something that's going on with these spirits and whatever. I'm sure that's a part of it too. Literally, and I would say I don't know where these spirits come from. Like, why is he carrying them on him? And not only have I been fighting whatever was attacking me personally, then I'm fighting what's attacking him, what's attacking my children and causing them to, have issues and stuff like that. And so I'm fighting 4 or 5 different levels of these suckers all at once, unknowingly. And so I just, again, give all praise and glory to the Most High, because imagine if I had said, I'm just going to let this thing attack me. I wouldn't have made it. My heart would not have been able to take it. But because I set in my mind, I'm going to fight back. I'm not going to let these things continue to run amok all over me, and I'm not going to and not fight back. And so I'm fighting these suckers all left and right. I'm sending all the evil that's been sent to me back to where it came from. So not only are these, first of all, again, these spirits went way overboard. That's how I know it's these same spirits that are on Psalm 83, because they went way overboard. There's no reason why they had to attack me the way that they did, especially on Friday when I was asking for prayer. That was a really heavy, unnecessary attack. completely unnecessary. There's no reason why they had to attack me the way that they did. And yet that's what happened. They went way overboard. They went too far. They went too far. And that's how you know it's the same spirits that these Psalm 83 use and abuse, because they went too far. They went too far. And so this brings me back to the Psalm 116. Precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. And I say, and if you read Psalm 16, it seems out of place, but it doesn't, because during the mist in the temples and the courts, I will praise the Lord. That's what Psalm 16 is saying. No matter what, I'm going to continue to praise the Lord, even as I'm being crucified with Christ, hung on the cross, every night for a reason I don't even know. I mean, I didn't, and that's what the one thing about the story of Job, we don't know what the Most High was doing while he loosed those spirits. He redirected them to go see if they could trick them, craftily trick them to come and attack Job. We don't know what he was setting up in the meantime while they were attacking him. We don't know. And so I didn't know. I just give all praise to the Most High I was able to tie that together so I could see, because I got the call, I got the time, and I was able to imagine if I wasn't in position to be able to pull the charts. Once I found out about the angels and whatever, I immediately started telling people, look, you need to go back and figure out what time your kids are born, because they're not putting the time of birth on the birth certificate. They have the time of birth. They're not giving it to you. And then, like for my son, I had his time of birth was on his little thing when he came out the hospital, but then they didn't put it on his birth certificate, and there was no reason for that. They just did not include it. And so if I didn't still have that little thing, that little memento from the hospital, I wouldn't know what time he was born. Because if you don't know, my youngest daughter and my son are both Capricorns, both born in the first 15 minutes of the 6 o'clock hour. One at 6 o'clock exactly, and one at 6:15. And so, we're 6/6, 6:00, and then one at 6:6. So that, or nines, sixes and nines are interchangeable. So those are my kids. And if I didn't have that information, I wouldn't be able to find out all his stuff. So, yes, the Testament of Solomon will tell you what spirits have been attacking you. And again, once you know what spirits have been attacking you, it tells you what frustrates them and what you have to say, exactly what you have to say to get them to leave you alone, and what they're afraid of, and what they'll stay away from. If you do, and a lot of it is just say, the reason why this was brought up, the sister Amanda brought this to my attention, because I was asking her how to cast out the spirits, and she was like, oh, it's in that book how Solomon did it. And I was like, well, I need to go and learn from Solomon. He's been teaching me my whole life, and I didn't know it. So let me go, and I need to read this book. So I read the book, and then on my drive up, I listened to it, and I was astonished, because the version that I posted online, the link that I posted, it has the Testament of Solomon with the Claviculae Salomonis together. So this book, the Testament of Solomon, makes the Claviculae Salomonis make sense. And you need to use them together, because, again, depending on what you're trying to accomplish. And so I'm so grateful that I'm so grateful that the Most High saw it fit to set me out there as a distraction so that this child could be born. I'm so grateful. And if it wasn't just me, if it was a few of us, whatever, me personally, I'm grateful to have been able to endure all that I endured, and to see what it was that my suffering was for, because a lot of times I think we might not be able to put it together what our suffering was for. And I had already kind of known that this is kind of how things work, because I would say over the last few months, more than once, I've been like, okay, I have to go to sleep, and I don't know why I have to go to sleep, but the whole thing is that another sister needed my energy, or I was sleeping to fortify whatever they were doing, or somebody was doing something and they were just tired, and the Most High needed that spirit for that. And it reminds me of Moses, when the children were crossing the Red Sea or the Mississippi, because he had to hold his hands up for that whole time, and while they were crossing, so that the water didn't fall. And so if you remember that story, they ended up basically building an altar to hold his hands up so that the children could cross with, while so that the children could cross. See, they put altars underneath his arms to hold his arms up. And so that's kind of like it is. They had to take something and put something there to support it. Well, if you're taking them and building an altar, that means you're taking that altar stuff from somewhere else. Something else that used to be built had to be destroyed so that they could build the altar. And that's what happened to me. My life was destroyed. I mean, fully destroyed life. And in the end, the children were delivered, and in the end, the child was delivered. And so, I'm sure there'll be more to say about this, but if you haven't read the Testament of Solomon, I highly recommend it. I think I did a short video talking about it. If I can find the link, I'll throw the link in this video too. But I just give all, and another thing in the Testament of Solomon, every single time something good happened, Solomon said, I give all glory and honor to the Most High for this amazing, wondrous thing that he has done. And that's what I give all praise, all glory and all honor to the Most High for, like I said, finding me, my heart pure enough that he thought I could withstand this attack. Because, we've seen some very public displays of people not being able to withstand these attacks that they were taking, not on their own behalf, not of their own doing, but for their brother or their sister that needed them. And it pushed me to go deeper into the information. And now we're at the heartbeat. We're at the heartbeat of the information. And I intend to to lunge that proverbial knife into the heart of this operation by commanding these infernal spirits to rebuild our kingdom, because that's what Solomon did. He called in those spirits one by one, asked them what they did. And he said, I don't give a F about what you do, son. This is what you about to do. Go over there and cut these rocks. Go over there and cut these marbles. Go over there and hold this pillar up. That's what you about to do. Everything else, irrelevant. I don't give a F about what it is that you say you can do, how you torment people. I don't care. This is what you about to do. Go and weave this hemp, period. So that's what we have to do. So this is nowhere near the end. I do just ask that the Most High don't do this to me again. It was too much, and I think that I don't, unless it's the Most High's will be done. But if it's up to me, if I can make my request, I request that I don't have to go through this again. It's too much. There's lots of other ways to handle this situation now, and now we know, and not just academically, but I'm telling you, once that book came across, and I went and I did the symbols and put it in the Hebrew and all of that, it was like that. Those spirits were instantly gone, instantly, just from me reading it. Just from me reading it, they were gone. I was like, wow. And then I listened to it. They were gone. They were gone. So again, everything that we endure is not for us. Sometimes it's for, you're a distraction. You're the bait, And it's funny because Wale has a song called Bait. And that's sometimes you're the bait. You're holding it down so that the Most High can do his work in another area. And we have to stop being so hard on ourselves when things happen, because sometimes it's not for you. Sometimes you're covering your brother, your sister that you don't even know. But I also asked for the Most High to reveal to me why I was going through what I was going through. So that could also be another part of it. I didn't just, if I have to suffer, then I need to know why I'm suffering. I don't mind suffering. Suffering's fine, but I need to know why. And I did ask but even before, I was in the truth. I on this side, I ask, I need to know why I'm going through this. Why am I going through this? It's fine. I'll go through it. Like I always said, I'll follow the Most High from to the bottom of the tree of death or the top of the tree of life. And I really went to the bottom. I mean, I truly went to the bottom. And now I'm anxiously awaiting my ascent to the top. So all praise and all glory and all honor be to the Most High for his loving kindness and his mercy and his grace and his peace. And for me, being able to, with the wisdom of the mother and the example of Yahweh, to be able to take out as many of these suckers as I could. I mean, during these last 2 months, I've done literally 2 40-day fasts, a 22-day fast. And I was doing daily I was praying every single day. Some days, especially when I first got started, I was doing 5 prayers a day because I was doing 3. Then I was doing my videos. That was 2 additional prayers. So I still did my own prayers. I was doing prayers 5 times a day. I did the confession, book 4 of the Clavicle Solomonis. I did that every single day for 2-3 weeks straight. I did the last 2 weeks. I've been doing Psalm 51 every single day, and so I've been fighting these suckers. I've been fighting them, and now you can't tell me who the Most High is. I know who the Most High is clearly for myself. You can't tell me who he ain't. You can't tell me nothing, because you don't know the Most High like I know the Most High. And so if, I always wanted to be a friend of God. I always wanted to be a friend. And so I'm just grateful to just have an opportunity to serve in the army as a handmaid, and to give it everything I've got to bring peace and prosperity and fertility to the women of the nation. And so, again, I just give all praise and glory to the Most High. So, to the spirits who are here with us, you're invited to go in peace. To my beloved viewers, you're invited to be at peace, and always remember, the Most High is your peace. Shalom.